Dirt 5 has been out for about a month and a half, and they literally just added in racing wheel support this week. What's good, Internet? My name is attackslug. This is Dirt 5, and they sent me a copy, and I have no idea why. If you want to pick up Dirt 5 on the PC, a link in the description. But I own a racing wheel. I have a 3070 in my PC now, so why not max out Dirt 5? And I enjoy a good arcade racing game, so let's play some, shall we? First and foremost, the video settings are all on ultra high, and I have not dropped below 60 frames on this i7 5820K. It's a 6-year-old CPU with a 3070 GPU. There is some kind of minor cloud quality ray tracing, but nothing super, huge like a lot of modern next-gen games have. But hey, we're here. Let's hop in. I'm going to hop back here because I think that this track early on is a pretty good track to show off what this game is. I would imagine that at some point, Codemasters, who's getting bought out by either EA or Take-Two, I'm not sure who's going to buy them, but they're getting bought, which is weird. And they sent me a game, which is weird, because the last time I played a Dirt game on this channel was 2017, right? That was Dirt 4, I guess? And generally, every time that I've played a Dirt game on this channel, on this show, with the Grimster, on the Pixels, or in VR, has done really well, right? But it's 2020, and I'm sure as hell not doing the same traffic I was doing in 2017, that's for sure. But also, all those coverage, all those games, all that stuff that I did for all those years, all the other Dirt games, were all on consoles. Because as we've established on this show many times, is that my PC is big and heavy. And Grim is upstairs or downstairs, or there are stairs involved with that. And this wheel, also not light, but I'll do it when it's just a wheel and a game console. Wheel and PC, not so much for traveling. So, that means, at some point here, I'm going to put in Dirt 5 on the PS5 in my GameFly queue, and we'll get to it, don't you worry. But, yeah, like, sending me a PC copy of a game, cool, but don't expect the same traffic you would get for a console game I can bring over to someone else's house easily, whatever. But that's kind of neither here nor there. This game has a dynamic system for weather, which I've been enjoying a lot. Just, rain, snow, hail, all that good stuff. Just kind of, as you're racing through the track, it will change, and it looks really good. Like, I'm not going to say it's a next-gen looking game, but they had to launch during a pandemic, and they had to clearly meet the deadlines to get it out for PS5 and Xbox Series X, so some things had to happen there to make that go. I would imagine it's a very complex deal, but as I've said, I'm a huge fan of arcade racers. Burnout 2 being the tippy top, but I have enjoyed various Dirt games over the years. I played a lot of Dirt 2. 3 and 4, not so much. I certainly played my fair share of Dirt Rally on PSVR, which I loved, because it was just a great VR racing thing. That and a lot of Drive Club in VR. Not normal, just VR. But any chance to get out my racing wheel here, which has been just collecting dust for a bit, is a good thing that I'd like to do. But, yeah, like, a little baffling. This email hit my inbox, like, maybe a couple days after the buyout thing happened, and I'm like, Codemasters, what is you doing? You realize that it's on PC, and I get it, like, I'm a tiny channel that's been dead for 2 years, like, I understand that I'm not a top priority, and I understand that you can look at those other videos and say, oh man, look at all that traffic, and adding in the support for the wheel, that makes sense as to why the timing that you would send the game to my inbox. But also, this video is not doing like 6,000 to 8,000 views. It'll maybe do 600 to 800 if I'm lucky. If it has a good thumbnail. Maybe. Like, I'm realistic on how things operate. But man, that rain looks good. That mud looks good. We're doing the arcade racing thing. And honestly, the way this game is laid out, I just really, really screwed that up. Oh, come on! Reset the car! That was lame. Super lame. I'm gonna lose now. All that winning and then you lose. It happens. But anyway, lightning there was fantastic. But the fact that, this the timing on how this showed up was interesting. And I'm like, I mean, okay, I'm not going to turn it down. I will get out my wheel and we'll do some things. But yeah, I'm realistic on where this channel is at in 2020. Far be it for me to turn down a free game and make a video for it for you guys. For someone who's watching here, I don't know who, right? But we're going to hop into where I'm currently at in this career. And it's fine. I've heard some complaints that there's not enough tracks and this gets repetitive and that whole thing. But, like, I'm not a huge fan of realistic racing games. I'm not that guy, right? But you give me a good arcade racer. And honestly, I'm reminded heavily of an original Xbox game called Rally Sport Challenge 2. Just the way this is laid out is very, like, kind of giving me that vibe. I'm gonna skip doing the Gymkhana here because doing the drifts on a wheel with that whole thing is a little bit difficult. But we can do Pathfinder here in Morocco. Why not? Now, I do have one issue here with this game. All these menus, all the button prompts are all Xbox One button prompts. And this is a PS4 wheel, and there's no option I could find to change all the button prompts to PS4. I want the PlayStation button prompts here, not the Xbox. Like, it's fine, but it's still like, come on, bro. Just for my ease of use in doing that. And yeah, there's some story stuff in here, but I feel like the dirt games sometimes, in making a sequel, right, in having to go in a sequential numbered sequel, I feel like they kind of are trying to find that new thing to do. Like Dirt 3 was Gymkhana, right? But having to continue iterating with sequels, but still trying to find a new identity for each game. With a racing game, like, at what point, what more can you do, right? So that, I think, is always a bit of tricky business and such. But here we're doing Pathfinder by my lonesome. And I don't know what this is. I obviously skipped the thing there, so we're just going to wing it and see how it goes. But yes, I would say in terms of the wheel stuff here, it feels fine. Like, it feels alright. I don't have any issues with how the force feedback on the wheel's going. It's been quite enjoyable. Oh, man. Up this mountain. Oh. Oh. That was bad. That was bad. So whoa, I have a button here for drift, and I've mapped it to like R3 because it's not on the wheel itself. But I don't foresee any drifting here happening at all. So I'm gonna drive one-handed. Oh my god, this is interesting. All right, this is actually different from everything I've done thus far, and I like it. I like it. It is definitely a bit trickier than the races that have just been dead simple. I'm playing on medium, so obviously I can crank up the AI. I've heard even then, even if you get the AI up higher, it's still not particularly difficult. How would you even drift here? This is crazy. This is crazy. I hope there's more of this. But yeah, I've heard like not enough tracks and that kind of thing. And they've got, you know, a planned content season pass type thing. But again, we'll see. Like, I tend to kind of get real hot and cold on racing games. I played a whole lot of Wreckfest last year. I haven't gone back to it lately. So, like, I'll play, you know, a bunch of hours in like a week and then just never play it again. So, I don't know. But before Wreckfest, I liked Dirt Showdown a whole lot because it had that kind of crash 'em up type thing. And certainly I liked Dirt Rally for being the serious rally racing, you know, thing. Like, different varieties I'm all down for. So, calling this Dirt 5, you kind of wonder, alright, well, then why is it different than Dirt 4 and what that did? And that's kind of a hard thing from a marketing perspective. Like, yeah, it's on next-gen consoles, but it's not that next-gen from what I've seen here, maxed out on PC. So, it's... Man, that was a cool race. I like that a lot. I did terrible, but man, that was actually challenging here on a wheel. Perhaps easier on a gamepad, but I like that a lot. Now again, Which button? Hey, look. Which button is the A button? It's the X button. Alright, let's check out one more. And I've gone all the way here to Land Rush and hopefully some snow, it looks like, on this track. So, let's hop into that. And just, you know, standard Volkswagen deal here. B and A. Fine. I haven't messed around with any of the other options in the game. There's like a make your own track thing in here, which looks neat. And it kind of, you can do it and upload it onto the internet, and that's cool. Alright, here we go. Let's do the snow. And I did one of the ice races, which was also pretty neat. And again, I've been playing this. Now, there have been, on this old CPU, occasionally I'll encounter a micro stutter, right? But it's been above 60 the entire time. And I turned on the automatic scaling of resolution, which is perhaps more important if you're playing at 4K, and that had a worse frame rate. That went under 60. But playing it natively at 1440 on a monitor that is 1440 and on a G-Sync panel, it's been fantastic. So I have no complaints on the actual in-game performance. Ran the benchmarks. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. So no worries on that if you have an older CPU and want to, you know, blast it out on Ultra. Now, obviously, the RTX 3070 doing a lot of the lifting here, but still, it's pretty good, man. It's pretty good, and I like it a lot. But yeah, doing the drifting here, having to move my hand down to where that would be to drift properly means that I'm playing with one hand on the wheel. With the force feedback, that does get tricky, and certainly if I owned like the shifter, you know, perhaps there's a better way to do that. But I'm just here to arcade race, man. I'm not here to get into all the fancy nonsense of having to upshift and downshift. I mean, it has paddles here, but just give it to me auto. Just give me a good race, and I will have no complaints on that. But you've kind of seen here the breadth of what this is and what it does with the wheel. At this point, it runs phenomenal. I'm going to play a bunch more of it because I just love a good arcade racer. And I should actually show off the rest of the menus here. It has online, and it has all the stuff in here. So let me just actually, if I can pause from here, if I can, there we go. It's got a photo mode, right? But obviously playing this with a racing wheel is not what you want to do. Like, don't play photo mode with a racing wheel. That's just a bad idea. Don't do it. And so there's online, which I have not touched at all yet. No idea if anyone's actually still playing it a month and a half after the launch of the game. So that's curious, right? And the playgrounds is there other stuff here. I can go into here and say, hey, I want to look for created tracks from other users. And I've seen a lot of the Gymkhana stuff so far. You know, hoops and fire and drifting and jumping, right? So a lot of that. But you can see here, people are just making their own stuff, and that's awesome. Uploading it and seeing, you know, what the deal is with that. So that's cool. You can make your own. The arcade is just, hey, you got the free play and the time trial. So kind of, you know, pick the track you want, pick the location. All right, got a couple of locations here, and then pick which one you want. So I haven't even seen Manhattan yet. I can't wait to get there. All right, and then the class of racer, and then you got a bunch of those. You've got, all right, dynamic, clear, rain, or snow. And then, you know, that's kind of how you're going to go there with that stuff. In the garage, you can obviously get more cars here. Always a bunch of cars to get as you gain money and rep and whatever else during the career. And yeah, just generally a fun playing arcade racer. And I am certainly a huge fan of those. So why not play Dirt 5? It's out now. On PC, on PS5, on Xbox Series X. I'm going to put one in my GameFly and hopefully have Grim with this racing wheel at some point in the very somewhat near future. I am attackslug. Thanks for tuning in on a Saturday evening. More videos right here. I'll see you next time, and I'm out.